You are now listening to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast, a weekly review of Monday Night Raw and other wrestling-related topics. And here's your hosts, Peter Day and Jake Grandi.
Check, check. 1, 2.
What's up?
Hey, party people. You're listening to Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin. I'm Peter.
This is Jake.
And we're here to talk to you about the world of wrestling and give you the WWE Raw review from this past Monday coming out of Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
And a couple of wrestling topics to start off with.
It was a good crowd.
I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was good at all.
No, you didn't think so?
I thought they couldn't. I felt like they finally ran across like a city that didn't have a bunch of smarties in it. I mean, I imagine if they were more close to like.
Oh, I mean, they didn't have to have a smart crowd. It was just like they were popped for. I mean, the Cena Neville match, and of course they popped for the Dean J&J match.
Well, they popped for the Cena Neville match because it was a fucking great match.
Well, yeah, that's. I mean,
I think you could put that match in a church.
You can't expect even a good crowd to be excited for bad wrestling.
Yeah, well, I'm not someone who's oriented about like how the crowd should react unless the people in the ring or the people who are performing are like they're on point. And I don't know. And this is what I actually wanted to start off. I feel the WWE has a problem right now. And it's like 3 problems that they have. And it's like coming off WrestleMania, the way they're treating their matches and the injuries that the younger guys are dealing with. And it's I don't see this improving anytime soon within the next 5-6 months. It's going to be a tough business to watch. And I mean, just Raw, between Raw and SmackDown, it's going to be a tough product to watch until they try to sell WrestleMania to us, try to get us to watch WrestleMania. And it sucks. I think it's not fair. It's not fair to us as consumers. It sucks.
Oh, well, I don't know if you have to wait that long. I mean, they do have SummerSlam they try to promote very heavily, and then you have the road to WrestleMania. It seems to start last year. It started with Survivor Series, so that was in November. I just think we just have this little rut. But they're going to get through with like gimmick pay-per-views. It seems like they have like the Elimination Chamber, then 2 weeks after that, Money in the Bank. So yeah. I think they're just going to use these like gimmicked up pay-per-views just to coast them into SummerSlam, and maybe they might have a big match at SummerSlam. I think until Brock comes back.
Until a lot of people come back.
Or who are we missing?
We're missing. It's a matter of people coming back. People they should utilize better.
Well, yeah.
And then people just staying healthy. The way I see like SummerSlam, not SummerSlam, because SummerSlam's not going to be shit. SummerSlam's not going to be anything.
You don't think?
Nah.
You don't think Brock at least is going to come back?
Well, it's not going to take one person to make that into a good show.
Well, I think he did that with, I would say, Royal Rumble this year. That 3-way he had with Rollins and Cena was definitely stole the show, and it was a good show because
it wasn't much of a show to steal. Like, it's...
And then he stole SummerSlam last year, but throwing around John Cena. So I would say, like, he has the potential to steal the show with just him there.
What show is there to steal?
I mean, they could do him and Rollins, and then they could do, like...
but I'm just saying, like, okay, great. I'm just saying, like, this show's going to stink. So, if he shows up, and out of 8 matches, we got 1 to look forward to, like, again, like, that's... It's not going to amount to anything. And it's something that I'm realizing the more that I'm looking at this listening to other podcasts and sort of figuring out, like in my own head, why am I still watching this? And I'm watching it because I want to enjoy the product. Now, say from WrestleMania, and I think you talk about how many subscriptions that the WWE gets and all that the other. But I feel like the WWE product from WrestleMania, from one end of WrestleMania into SummerSlam, back to the Royal Rumble, into the next WrestleMania, it's like one relationship per year. It's like you find your mate, and like they look great, they work out, they wear makeup, or they're fit, and like they're really nice, they're opening the door, they're paying for your meal, right? Just the sex is awesome. And then like after that, they don't work out as much. And then they're like not opening the door. You're not having sex as much. Because it's like, that's what WrestleMania is. WrestleMania is like, wow, let's throw all these big things together. Let's bring back The Rock. Let's do all this cool stuff. Let's like this show is this program is going to move into something worthwhile. Let's bring this guy in and show that he could possibly be our next superstar. You know, basically Hideo Itami. And then let's talk about the Mizdow. Let's talk about.
Well, I do not like the was it Manic Mizdow?
Yeah. But exactly. But you thought that was going to be something. Him coming out of that was like, he doesn't need to win that battle royal because they're going to fuck him up anyway. But this could be used as a means to show that he is a guy who's going to be a contender of some sort. They're going to utilize him better. You talk about Ronda Rousey, The Rock.
Well, I mean, he's at least on the show.
Sting.
Well, the Big Show who won that is not even on the show right now. So I think it would have been a bigger deal to have Mizdow win in retrospect.
Oh no, I mean no, fuck the battle royal. Like that battle royal ain't shit though. That's the whole point.
I know it's not shit. So you could have this guy in a comedy angle win it, not shit, just to get a big pop right at the beginning of WrestleMania. I think they could have done that, but I think that the way that they're spinning that character is ridiculous. Like it's ripping off Macho Man 1985 is like the 2000. Jay Lethal did that in 2007, so that's like 10 years ago. Ripping him off is 10 years ago, and the gimmick itself is like 30 years old.
But that's only part of the problem. Like what they're doing with Mizdow is ultimately a problem. It's part of a problem that the WWE has with the fact that the ratings are dropping. Like this last Monday's Raw and the ones before was like the worst, the absolute worst they've seen since 1997. Like because there's no Sting to either. Like all the stuff that they built up.
Well, they ruined
and now it doesn't matter if they ruin him or not. He's not there. None of those people are nowhere to be found.
Well, I'm saying
there's only one group of guys out of all of that fluffer, out of all that stuff that was going on that we're seeing. Like one of the matches, which was the fifth match in WrestleMania, is now your main event. Go for over the past two pay-per-views.
Oh, I think it was second, actually.
What?
I think if you don't count the pre-show matches, I think the Rollins and Orton match was second on the Mania card.
It was... I saw that in terms of importance, I saw the ladder match above the Randy Orton. Because the thing is, we already saw the payoff. Orton getting his hands on Orton and beating the living shit out of him. That's them in a ring.
Happened, yeah.
Yeah, them in a ring is not a payoff for me. And plus, it didn't really amount to anything until he just hoisted him up and gave you a really interesting RKO. You had Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. You had Cena versus Rusev. You had the ladder match.
Well, the Cena versus Rusev match is still a match as well.
I know, but you know what? The difference between, say, what Orton and Rollins did, at least the Cena U.S. Challenge is making things interesting.
Of course,
and
that's the thing on the card as well.
That's
pretty fun. That I love every time I watch it.
But do I care about the Rusev Cena match? I don't.
I think it's
but I care about Cena. I think Cena's kept his story interesting since WrestleMania, and it has a lot to do with he's put himself in a situation to put himself in great matches with great up-and-coming wrestlers. Rusev, not so much. There's nothing about the Rusev storyline leading into this Payback that I give a fuck about. They're not even talking about him. They're talking about Lana. Like, this is all about Lana. Not even about Rusev. So, why am I going to care about this Payback match when, in fact, I'm getting a kick out of Cena going up against these young guys, and then Rusev, the storyline is about Lana. Like, they got a major problem, and it's stupid. You got a guy coming out in Sami Zayn, and he fucking tears his rotated cuff.
Yeah.
Like, before he even steps into the ring. You look at a guy like Hideo Itami, who's just in the Battle Royal, and he's supposed to be coming in, and he fucking, what did he tear up? His
I think it's something about his shoulder, too.
Yeah, he tears up his shoulder. We got Daniel Bryan having to drop the strap again. And maybe it's a work, I don't know, but like still, that's dumb. And then you got these forgettable 3-way, 4-way matches. Like this thing about WWE right now that they have this threesome, foursome orgy fetish is just dumb. Like, none of these guys are able to stand out and become superstars on their own. And I'm realizing this, man. It's like 4-way, 3-ways, triple threats, 3-on-3s. It's just like, man, do you remember everything having to be that stipulation? Like, the guys that you know and love, were they constantly in this thing where they always had to like share the ring with like 2 to 3 other people to make a match and to make a point and to make themselves into stars? No, I feel like these fucking 3-ways and fatal 4-ways, it's like, it's not helping any of the superstars at all. Like, these matches become forgettable because there's no one person on the top of the mountain. You know, you got 2 people slugging it out on top of the mountain, then someone gets knocked down and the other one stands tall, and then they move on to stardom, you know? Like, none of that shit's happening anymore because all this space is paired up. It's going to be rough this year, I guess, because I'm zooming in more on little specifics. Not necessarily the match quality, even though the matches, even though the Randy Orton Seth Rollins thing is horrible. But this is going to be a rough year. And until they get something going.
Well, I mean, I've never really been, for the past few years now, really that interested in watching the main events on Raw. Like, I always like the undercard stuff a lot better. So, like, that's just how I just see wrestling now. It's just, like, the main events are not going to be as entertaining as, like, the tag matches or now even, like, you know, U.S. title matches. And they got guys like Neville coming up, and he's pretty interesting to watch, you know. They got, you know, Kid and Cesaro, The New Day. So I kind of just watch it for the mid-card anyway. So if the main events are good, that's like a bonus to me. I'm used to Triple H ruining all that shit anyways.
Well, so, over the past 3-4 years,
yeah.
I think if the main event was something, were people that you actually invested in and cared about, if they were written and put together in a means to keep you interested, then you wouldn't feel this way about like the main event
of
stuff.
Course. But I just think that I don't know why they do that. I just know they do. I'm not like, I had to like tell myself not to worry about that. That's just what happens. And we got spoiled last year when they had the good Evolution Shield feud. I feel like that was a great way to just like send off, you know, maybe to get to SummerSlam. I feel like that was really good. And we had the Wyatt Shield feud kind of for a little bit there before they broke the Wyatts up.
Yeah, they fucked it up.
And I feel like the Shield turn was really good as well. So I think we got spoiled last year with that great main event, like how that looked. And now, I mean, at least Cena's not on top. Like
that's you know what? He's better off.
Cena's better off. Yeah, we're all better
off.
But
he's better off on top. Like, he's better off with this gimmick that he's doing right now as the main event.
Of course, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's better off. So like now they're kind of at the main event level. They're like, fuck, we can't just give it to Cena. We don't have the Shield thing going on anymore. Punk left, Bryan left. What do we do? So they're kind of stuck. But I think
Kane.
But I think Kane. But I think that they're doing real good because Randy Orton is more over than he has been in years. Rollins is pretty over, and those two, having 2 over people can get Reigns over. I think
it's garbage.
I don't really see Dean Ambrose as being a top guy yet, because they pushed him to the moon before. So
who?
Dean Ambrose.
We've talked about this last week. They only used. He's a utility guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying like he's in the main event, so people might speculate that why would I be mentioning him? So I just made sure.
Yeah, because he doesn't matter. That's why we don't mention him.
Well,
like this ain't rocket science.
I think that if they kind of maybe bring him and maybe him and Orton can have a feud where the main feud can be Reigns and Rollins for a little bit would help everything until Lesnar comes back, and then they can have the Lesnar, Reigns, Rollins like 3-way feud, not necessarily in a 3-way match, but like
a 3-way
rivalry for the title. Yeah,
fuck a 3-way. I'm sick of the 3-ways.
I said not necessarily a 3-way match. Well, the reason it would have to be a 3-way is because Rollins took Reigns out at WrestleMania and also took Lesnar out at WrestleMania, so they could both make the argument of why they should have the belt.
3-ways are forgettable.
I didn't say I said 3-way feud for the title. So.
Maybe. I don't know. I just maybe I'm coming off as a negative Nancy, but it's.
I'm just surprised you didn't see this, man. This is how it works every year. They go down. You kind of.
Well, I've seen it, but like I guess doing this show and actually going in with more perspective on analyzing.
Yeah, to be honest, normally I just stop watching Raw at this time of year. I just kind of zone out and I'll come back. It's not that I mean to. It's just like I'll miss a few because like if I don't like do these podcasts, like I'll just be like, yo, it's warm outside. Fuck it, you know. Like
yeah. And maybe because I'm the person to take things with a grain of salt. But again, like analyzing more within the business of it, doing this podcast, because I feel like that's what's interesting to me, the business side of this, more than the actual in-ring stuff, because it's like, oh yeah, like insider stuff, like that's pretty cool, ratings, who's getting signed, all that stuff, that's just pretty cool to me, but and seeing what's happening, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look moving forward, where I'm trying to be, and I have been, as optimistic as possible. I still am, but I guess I'm in a situation calling WWE out for the bullshit.
Yeah,
they can do better. They can. Of course. They really can do better. They got the pieces, but it's just on the powers that be. The Vinces, the Duns, the Dusties, and the fucking Michael P.S. Hayes to be like, yo, like let's not make this about us, or even Triple H for that matter. Let's not make this about us. Let's make this about the fans. I mean, let's not necessarily give the people what they want, but let's just not force them what we want them to be consuming.
I think that they don't know what the people want yet. I think they know that they want. I think they thought they wanted Reigns, and then they're realizing they don't want Reigns as much as Rollins and Dean. But then they have to put in a guy like Orton because they have to make the old school fans think that there's something there to keep watching. So it's kind of a hard spot they're dealing with. They don't know who the top guy is really. I mean, they have Rollins with the belt, but
the top guy is Triple H.
Yeah, and he doesn't wrestle. So,
but like the top guy. Yeah, it's Triple H, and a lot of that Max Landis thing makes a lot of sense. I mean, like the way it ends, he goes, "If I can't have the belt, if I can't be champion, I choose the champion."
But don't choose the champion on TV. Just stay off the television and just you got yourself over for years. So now try to get everyone over and stay off. And the best way to do that is stay off TV because you can't help. Triple H cannot help putting himself over. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you know what? He is the top guy. Him and Cena,
I would say,
are the top. Orton's a vet, but he ain't put he's not money. He's not money. You know, he's not.
I mean, he's pretty good, and he's more popular than ever, I would say. And if Triple H just stayed off TV and stopped being in the storyline, like we know the backstage that we know it. You don't have to do it. I really was tired. When I saw him, I really was kind of like, man, you should have stayed gone, because it's not exciting to see him talk because you know you're not going to get wrestling. If it's a wrestling show and you see this guy, even though he bills himself as the top guy, we know we're not going to see wrestling on a wrestling show every time we see him. We're going to hear long, drawn-out promos that are the style's been done with for years. Randy Orton changed his style up because of that. I think he got a lot of influence from Triple H's promos, and he had to change his promo up. And then if you watch now, he's more popular than ever.
He's not more popular than ever.
I would say.
I just say he has more fire in his ass.
No, I think he's more popular than since like 2009. I would say 2008.
Well, who was around 2008?
Cena and Orton, and Triple H, the same motherfuckers. Kane.
Undertaker. Shawn Michaels.
Sure.
Who else?
Kennedy.
Booker T even came back for a hot minute. Yeah, I mean,
Booker T was in TNA for a little while.
Who?
Booker T was in TNA.
Yeah, but he came back around like 2008, 2009. That's when I started watching again. I remember him getting to the Royal Rumble. That's when freaked out. What's his name? He does the Lucha Underground play-by-play now.
Matt Sydal. Or no, Matt Striker.
Matt Striker. I remember seeing that. But then it's like, he was still surrounded by things, and also the Nexus, and all this thing that was going on. He was kind of like in the belly.
Well, Nexus was not. See, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about going into where he stopped getting popular, where I'm saying he's pretty popular now with the memes, and then I think because he changed his promo style up, he got away from the Triple H promo, and that's all we get from Triple H. He doesn't wrestle. So it's boring to watch him on TV because you're just going to hear a bunch of bantering. That shit's boring. No backstage segments. They need to stay away from that. Just like they did this.
But this isn't. But
this is 17. It took 17 minutes to get to the first wrestling match. It should have taken 5.
But this has always been your beef, though.
Yeah.
This is always. They've had this same formula since '95. This same formula.
I would say like 98.
Yeah, okay. Look, either way, give or take 3 years, it's the same formula. So this, what you just said, has been your beef for the past almost 20 years.
I said that. Yeah, I don't care about the main event storyline because they do it like this, and I liked it when they had Vince. It was fresh, and they had Vince and Austin, like really exciting guys, and there was tease of. The tension was wrestling. The tension wasn't like, ooh, is Triple H going to fire somebody? That's all just like weird speculatory stuff that doesn't lead to a match. And they need to understand that these things need to go to matches. Like that's why, that's what makes it different. That's why you watch it, because it is different. Like you could watch any other drama,
Yeah, you can.
So it took 17 minutes to get to J&J versus Dean Ambrose. They should have had that within the first 5 minutes. They could have just had Kane book it real quick, and then have the Triple H segment afterward. But Triple H.
Yeah, yes, and might as well get into it. But Raw Cincinnati, it kicks off with Triple H, but it basically just sets up the match between Ambrose and J&J Security. The only thing is that you see. The only thing I get out of this is that you see how I was like. Whose feud is this going to be? It's going to be Triple H and Kane. And you see more of that sort of festering in. That it's bound to happen. And possibly maybe Extreme Rules, maybe SummerSlam. But Triple H tells Kane, if Seth Rollins, his chosen champion, doesn't win, then he's basically, his services as director of operations won't be needed. And it sets up the match with that everyone's going to be fighting Roman Reigns versus Kane, Rollins versus Orton, and then because Noble bucks up at Triple H, he sets up the match with Dean Ambrose, which is in itself, they made him look like $1 million. But why is Dean Ambrose facing J&J?
I guess theoretically, in storyline purposes, it is a handicap match. But as far as the business line, you get the hottest dude who they're going to be chanting his name until he comes out anyway. He's right there at the beginning, looks real strong, beats up 2 dudes, and he pretty much just a showcase for Dean Ambrose right off the bat. As far as
And you take him seriously after this.
I mean, I just it was.
I'm just asking a question.
So I take him just as seriously as I did before. I thought he's always been like a hardcore wrestler. He could definitely beat up J&J. Like I think a mid card guy can beat up J&J.
So you mean to tell me? Let's just say you're Dean Ambrose.
Okay.
And you're in your hometown, and you're basically that night you are the draw. That's why people are showing up to see you.
Yeah.
Not only are they going to put you first, they're going to put you in a gimmick match with two comic figures.
Well, I mean, that's this kind. He is a hardcore guy. Like his matches are supposed to be like kind of wild and crazy. And I think that they would have chanted "We want Ambrose" throughout all these things. You know, like the Ziggler Barrett match and all that stuff. And so they just put him out at first. And I think
boo hoo, boo fucking who. Like they don't deal with other chants of people who aren't even in the business anymore.
And plus, he at the end he did.
I think I could deal with an Ambrose chant.
Well, I mean they are in the business. Obviously, they're every week on Raw they're bumping, but like he does end up he's on top at the end too. So it's not that big of a deal. I think it's a pretty big deal that he came on first and he was on top last.
It was a joke. He shouldn't have been in that. Like you mean to tell me? Out of all the matches of the Fatal 4-Way guys, you know, whatever the fuck you want to call this, Rollins goes up against Orton, Roman Reigns goes up against Kane. He's stuck with J&J?
Well, Rollins and Orton was the main event, but I would take this match over the brawl that happened between Kane and Reigns. Like, this match was definitely better looking to have him beat up two men than have a brawl that's going to end up on SmackDown, which is what Reigns had.
But it's at least taken seriously. The storyline in
match
itself
wasn't supposed to be taken seriously. That was supposed to be taken seriously as Dean can whoop people's ass. He whooped two people's ass here. He could whoop two people's ass.
He whooped two past their prime. Like even though they gave him a good, you know, they made him look good to sell, you know, like you said, the showcase. But like, fuck that. This is one of the problems I feel is happening with. The WWE and them advancing guys to star, to the star that they can potentially be. Now, at least at some cases, when you get a guy going to the hometown, getting a hometown pop, and if they do lose, they're put in a match that they lose in to a formidable opponent. You know, almost always anyone goes home, they lose. It's just like one of those things, right? Sami Zayn loses in fucking Canada, but it's like this awesome thing, right? And then you move next week to the guy that you just added to the card, to the main event card, and now not only is he going on first, he's not. You know what? Maybe you needed the fans to yell Dean Ambrose during the whole show to let everyone know that he's someone of importance, and then give him somebody. If not like R-Truth or something, give him somebody. Give him Stardust. Even though, because if you want to keep him gimmicky, at least keep it at least a full-grown man. You know, like or who's somebody? Give him Luke Harper. You know, like, oh yeah, they've already been there. Never mind. Yeah, but like, they still give a great match. They still give great matches.
I think the point wasn't just to make Dean look good, and I guess he did. Like everyone knew he was gonna win, and he did win. Like I think it was just to like showcase it. Like I don't think it was a jobber match. It was back in the day.
It was bittersweet. It was bittersweet. Yeah, it made him look good, but it didn't make me take him serious at all. Like this is like, they could have gave him something.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. It's probably better, but I'm surprised that you have a lot of faith in them, because this is just what happens.
Faith in who?
The WWE. Like you're disappointed where like this is just like what happens. Like they never pull the trigger on anybody. They don't really do any of that stuff anymore, and I think it's the whole system from the ground up. They have like ever since they've had like a team of writers instead of like one writer lead like a few group of guys. Like they've had trouble building stars. Like the corporate mentality is kind of keep everyone level and bring everyone up together.
Yeah, because it's about the Shield. It's about the WWE Shield that it is about the actual wrestlers.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of
I think that's what we all.
That's part of the whole 3-ways and
exactly.
Nexuses and.
But this has been going on for
guys
quite
in
a while.
shirts.
This has been going on for quite a while, and I just think once they have to have these characters that we can just grab to, and I think what sucks
calling
is,
these guys rookies.
Well, what sucks is
really rookies, man.
Who are they calling rookies?
All those NXT guys.
Oh, well.
They're calling them rookies. Like when someone came in, was Razor Ramon a rookie when he debuted?
No.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but that's just I think people know, the people that know him, so that's not too big of a deal. But I just think that they just don't build stars like they haven't for years.
They're stunting any possible thing to make anyone bigger than the actual 3 letters that form their company logo.
Yeah.
It's something, man. And it's funny because it's almost like Facebook. With Facebook, we're just doing any and everything to just give up our privacy. Here, take this. Here's all the information we get. Y'all. This is the big social media hub there is, the big one where I can get on and make friends, associates, and I want to be able to talk to people and share my photos. It's here, all this privacy just gone. And it's like the WWE. It's like they're the big thing. It's you hear stories upon stories, but then you got this tough enough shit gonna go down. You got these guys who are walking into a trap, so to speak.
Yeah.
They're giving up all their future. They're giving all of it up. I mean, you take the last Tough Enough, we're just now starting to see those guys on Lucha Underground, Son of Havoc and fucking.
Son of Havoc, Matt Cross has been a wrestler for a year. He had already been in a video game before the Tough Enough.
But I know, but still.
But I think they're walking into a trap because we haven't seen the winner. I think the winner's fired from last, and that was the last Tough Enough 2 years ago. The winner got fired already. So I think that's the trap they're walking into. Hopefully you can just get a little exposure on the show and then not get picked.
But it's a big... But, knowing that it's, you're not going to have a lot of variation or whatever. Because now, that's when the sport of wrestling becomes the question. Now, is it only about the bucks? Is it only about the bucks? When I get that WWE contract, I'm going to work less. I'm going to do my little matches. And then I'm going to be getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions. And... these people who are doing this Tough Enough shit.
The road schedule is hard, though. The roads, you wrestle a lot more on the WWE schedule than you do the Indies. If you wrestle, I think, the WWE road schedule.
Oh, yeah. But you get time. You go from, what is it? Depending on where you are on the card. Let's just say the SmackDown, SmackDown Raw people. The top card. Mm. Those guys work, they work Raw, they work from Thursday to Tuesday, right?
Well,
not even Thursday. They work from that. They work from Saturday to Tuesday.
No, they work from. Well, no, I think sometimes they have house shows the same night as SmackDown and stuff, and sometimes they do
those are Tuesdays.
I'm not sure if they have Wednesday house shows or Friday house shows.
No, they don't do anything.
They do house shows.
Oh, but I guess depending on where the card is. I mean, you if you're someone on the lower, let's just say you're Curtis Axel. Yeah, you're going to be working a little bit more. But I think for the most part, you get 2 days off. You get 2 days off during the week. You don't work every fucking night in the WWE.
I mean, yeah, you don't work every night, but that's. Most indie wrestlers work once a week, twice a week.
Yeah.
So them working 3-4 times a week, and then I know that there's some guys who wrestle twice a show sometimes. Mm-hmm. So you're wrestling 5-6 times a week.
Yeah,
that's a lot, and plus training and traveling. I think.
But is joining WWE this? Is it about wrestling or is it about getting a bigger check?
I think. I think they get lured in. They do work a lot harder for the bigger checks. So there's ways that they could, we've mentioned before, indie stars making just as much money, but they have to work just as much as the WWE guys.
Yeah.
So.
But because the WWE monster itself, it's the planning and the scheduling is just. It's just on a grander scale. It's it's full time Smashing Pumpkins booking, we're booking arenas, you know what I'm saying? We're it's the biggest band on tour all the time, getting the big dates and selling out, 30,000 person arenas.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
sure.
awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, which leads to a bigger check. But what we get next? Ziggler versus Barrett.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen like these matches. Ziggler, Barrett, Ziggler, Sheamus. I'm tired of it, man. I don't even,
Ziggler gets what is it? Yeah, Barrett gets the victory. Lo and behold, I mean, even though he got pinned.
Yeah, and then
on SmackDown in the tag team match.
Yeah, these three guys just transfer wins back and forth. It's best if Neville stays away from this because, I mean, it's sad to say. I like Barrett, I like Ziggler, but like, it's just boring to watch them because they're not going to get past where they're at. Like, that's just how it is. What we've been talking about all show.
But
and then after Barrett wins with the bullhammer, Sheamus comes in and attacks Ziggler, and we're gonna get Ziggler and Sheamus at Payback. That's kind of where it is.
I took a nap. I ended up passing out for maybe 5 minutes. After that, anything happened after that?
Oh, dude, yeah. Okay, Rowan versus Fandango.
Oh God.
The announcers kept talking about how long they're gonna be there. Is this gonna be a minute 30, a minute 40? How long is this match gonna be? And then it ended up being 37 seconds. So Booker T kind of got it right. Rowan wins with a big sit-down power bomb, and then Harper and Rowan are together again.
So I missed that. Like I was like, I don't even know what the fuck happened because I was beat. I mean, that's just like today.
It was pretty. I mean, it was kind of funny because as soon as the guys they got done talking about how making bets, kayfabe making bets, and then all of a sudden he lost, and they all guessed higher than what it was. So it kind of the gimmick worked well. To hide kind of Rowan's green having a lot of offense. And
Rowan. People think that that's the color of his outfit. No, that's him. That's him. He's covered in green. Like people. That's not an outfit. He's actually out there naked.
And I think him. I know that it sucks that they're not pushing Harper more than they are. But I think Harper is going to be in some good matches in the tag division, like these two guys versus the New Day, these two guys versus Kid and Cesaro. These guys versus the primetime players, those would be like four gigantic dudes running at each other.
I feel like they're pushing Harper. They're pushing Harper as a good win for whoever they're behind at the time.
Well, they seem like he's going to be in his tag. Like, I think they're pushing the tag division again.
When they were together, there's going to be like this brand improvement of the fucking Wyatt since they've been apart for 8 months. Who are you kidding, man? Like what? Because they never won. Like who would they face? They were facing the Usos for the belts. They never won a single match, and they never won a match against the Shield. Never won a match against the Usos. And now they're back together. To lose again? Like what? Where did this improvement come from?
They could win. I mean, they could beat the New Day. I could see that.
They can't beat the New Day.
You don't think so?
The thing is, what are you gonna do with these guys? It's not about who they're gonna beat or who not they're gonna beat, or if they lose. It's about what you're gonna do with them. Now, obviously, if they're gonna get these guys back together, make them look strong, then they're going to have to they're going to have to position themselves to earn the belts.
This is something they're two big dudes. Like, if you look, they're not really doing much with Mark Henry. Undertaker's gone. Kane is in a suit. Big Show's gone. They need bigger guys just to look there standing big for people that used to come and cheer for the Undertaker to cheer for.
But we see these guys as losers. They're losers. How am I? Yeah, they're big. They win with their genetic makeup.
They can beat guys in 37 seconds. I think they're going to try to... That's just what they're doing. I don't know.
It's hard for me. It's just like in comparison to, let's just say Curtis Axel becomes a badass. Right?
Yeah.
Or say take what they did to Ryback. Okay, Ryback's maybe an outlier, but He was put out as a loser, man.
Well, and
all of a sudden he's feeding Morgan.
The New Day we were writing off for until Mania until they started saying New Day sucks, and now everyone loves the New Day.
Well, no.
They found their
No, the problem with the New Day was the way they booked. Big E has won. Kofi has won. Those guys haven't been considered jokes. They've never been considered jokes.
They kind of ran down the card for a while there, with Rusev beating them all up at one point, and like...
But that's just one... But that was like one episode within like an extensive amount of work.
No, I'm saying Rusev beat... His first feud was against R-Truth and Xavier Woods. He beat them both. He beat Kofi, and then he beat Big E. I'm saying Rusev ran through them all.
Yeah, because Rusev's a badass.
I'm just saying it made him... I'm just saying he ran... That's all... That's the last we saw of the New Day. Then they joined up. It took them a little while to get going, and now we like them. Now they're the tag champs. So, like, they can redo it. You already said with Ryback. I mean, Curtis Axel, as far as I'm concerned, him being a joke character is way better than what he did before.
I wasn't making that point. My point is, let's just say all of a sudden he's a badass. How am I supposed to take it? I mean, like, man, you just fucking shucking and jabbing. Like, you know, I'm looking at Rowan and Harper. Like, dude, what have you done for me lately? Like, you know what I'm saying? I watched this show. Like, that's in my head, and now I'm all of a sudden supposed to take you to be this formidable force. Like, if you guys would have been together the whole time, then we would have seen y'all getting better together, right? So you go up against who? Okay, you go against the Los Matadores. Okay, all right, get it. You go up against the Ascension. Okay, I get it.
Primetime
players, I get it. You know, but then it's just like,
and then Kid and Cesaro and the New Day.
And the returning Usos at some point. And now it's like it gets meatier, but like, are they going to send the Harper and Rowan up that road? Because you only get the tag team matches devoted to one tag team, 2 tag teams. Who are they going to take off to showcase Rowan and Harper kicking ass?
Well, they can easily split that off into a Kid and Cesaro feud, or New Day could, turn. I mean, like, I can't really see, New Day could do that. Yeah, Usos coming back, having a good feud with the Usos.
Who?
Harper and Rowan.
You got 3 things going really good right now. I just don't see that there's space for them. You're gonna put them back together. We're just gonna watch it happen. I just feel like they're not gonna. It's like, oh yeah, there you are. Oh yeah, where'd he go? Where'd he go? I feel like that's gonna happen because there's no space for them. And now they're trying to do this thing with the Los Matadores from SmackDown. They're like, there's a little tension in that little unit.
Oh, I think the Bull's just gonna go to the Lucha Dragons. I think is the rumor.
I forgot about the fucking Lucha Dragons.
He's gonna be I mean, that's what I'm saying. The tag team division is stacked right now. I love it. I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, whatever.
And then we had the match of the night. I think.
Wait. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the John Cena U.S. Championship of the World Challenge. Did you hear Did you hear that last time? I put it in. You probably didn't hear it. Yeah, that's you gotta hear it. It's pretty funny because it's the John Cena U.S. Championship of the World Open Challenge. It's probably the only thing exciting on this fucking podcast.
Well, I thought this match was fucking sick. Right off the top, like, the crescent kick that the Neville did, and then the big German suplex he did to roll him out of the ring for the springboard twisting senton off the second rope was pretty fucking awesome. Neville's always awesome. He kicked out of the AA, and I really thought it was pretty awesome. John Cena catching him and then throwing him into the fireman's carry for the AA. I thought that was like John Cena holding his own in his moveset here. I thought. What did you think of the match, Peter?
I thought it was pretty interesting. Yeah, I've said it once. I've said it a million times. John Cena is definitely an asset, and it's like he goes to the mid card only to become to be bigger. It's weird. He goes to the mid-card to be even bigger. Now, he's not on top to be open and close the night. He's in that second hour, and he's still in the show anyway.
Yeah.
And, like you said, he's holding his own. But he's in there with the fresh new talent that everyone's hot for.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone is fucking hot for. Now, granted, he went up against Cody Rhodes. He's gone up against... who else is he going up against? That's already on the card. Oh,
Cody Rhodes, Dean Ambrose. I think he did Barrett. He did Neville.
All the guys that were in that ladder match, the Intercontinental ladder match. Basically, he ran through those guys. And then they started getting hotter with it. It's like, look, we have an opportunity to use this as a means to catapult some of our newer guys. Now, everyone wants to talk about how, Sami Zayn last week was basically Cena showing up to face Kurt Angle. But, that's going to be a lot of guys moving forward.
That's good. I think that's awesome. Just because...
But no one becomes special, though. No.
The one person's going to be special when they beat him. The one time they beat him.
At the cost of everyone who's lost to him prior?
He's already seen as better than them.
Huh?
He's already seen as better than them. He's already seen as light years ahead of them. In storyline.
I'm just saying.
He's already beat the one night on Raw. Him and Randy Orton beat the whole roster as a unit together. That happened a few years ago. So I'm saying they've already done that with Cena. So I have him actually one-on-one wrestle on a showcase type deal to show the other guy's talent. So the other guy can get so everyone's getting their main event with Cena. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was just, I think it's to a lesser extent. I don't think he's retiring at all. But it was kind of like when Ric Flair wrestled. He had some great matches with Steven Richards and Eddie Guerrero on Raw on his way out to eventually wrestle Shawn Michaels. So I think he's just doing that. I think he's been on top for so long that people still like John Cena. He still makes money, but it's just so boring and so dull to see him with the belt, with the world title. So if they can elevate the lowest title, and plus he's already been a Marine type of guy, U.S. flag waving kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it fits his character. So you're just building his character, which is making him stand out because his character is developing more. And Rusev attacked them both at the end. So
it kind of sucks for Neville because he hit his finisher. He hit his finisher, and it looks like that was going to be the moment. Good booking. It just seems like out of everything, this is what they're doing right, other than say what they did with the New Day. Was the New Day even? Yeah.
Yeah, they came out.
Yeah, they came out. Okay.
I think but they're making Neville look really good right now because now they can spin Neville off into a Rusev feud if they want to. They can spin Neville off into a Cena feud, especially with all these gimmick matches they have, the Elimination Chamber and Money in the Bank. They can definitely put him in those. So I do think the summer's looking good for Neville. And
the new sensation.
Yeah.
Neville. Yeah. Just one thing out of that, Matt. Out of that, after everything happens, when he applies the accolade and John Cena's kind of laid to rest, they shoot Cena, and Cena's like, "Let them." When he says, he's like, "Let them chant for her" or something. You see him basically tell Rusev what to do. It was just come on, camera guys. You always put Cena in this spot where it seems like, you go down Twitter, it's man, Cena talks too much. You get, here we go, Cena's doing it again. It's no, it's not Cena's fault. He's supposed to do that. It's on the fucking camera guys to be sharp enough to know when he's calling spots in the ring.
That's not too big of an issue because
I just thought it was funny.
That's such a but sometimes he does you can hear him be suplex, hip toss. You can just see him
yeah.
But I've never wrestled. But Kane versus Reigns next.
It never happened.
Yeah, they just kind of fight and brawl. It's going to happen on SmackDown, so stay tuned for Peter Talk SmackDown later on in this week. And then we move on to Breez versus Tamina. Tamina destroys her with a nasty kick, and that's pretty much the match. I don't remember anything else that happened, but I just remember that kick.
That was a bad match. It's horrible.
It's Brie Bella.
Well, and a what is it? A returning Tamina. That's probably her first in-ring thing since she's been back, and you can tell that rushed is bad. It was just bad. I'm glad she's back. I think it's going to take a while for her to get back on her mojo because, just the pedigree alone, her dad, and the fact that she has been wrestling for a long time. She's coming from a ACL tear. I didn't know that she had an ACL issue. I thought she left because she was probably dealing with something else. But you just don't recover from those and perform at a high level as much as, say, any other, like a broken leg or arm or something like that. So maybe that was why Tamina performed at such a low level. But it wasn't on Breez, definitely. It was definitely on Tamina. Just everything looked very clunky. And it's going to take a while for her. And I hope they hold out on her and give her, like, house shows. And then when she comes back on, like, maybe SmackDown or even Raw, that she would look a lot smoother. But, yeah.
Then we had Macho Man Down and Curtis Axel come out. The Ascension, they joined forces kind of, but like, I don't know, it's kind of...
JBL buries this.
Well, yeah, like I said before, like Jay Lethal already did this angle ripping off Macho Man like in 2007.
But who cares? I mean, who cares about that though?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, when ripping him off is a rip off, don't do it.
But no one. I mean, Jay Lethal. Okay, we get it.
A lot of fans know about that, and
a lot of
people.
A lot of indie fans know that. But like you're only like the indie fans are only a percentage of the people that are consuming wrestling in a whole. Now, I'm just learning about Jay Lethal. I know nothing about the machismo thing. Like, I learned through you. So I don't see that they're. When I see them doing this, I don't see this as, oh yeah, they're biting this. I think it's just an open gimmick that anyone could probably take and run with, because like who doesn't have a Macho Man impression? Who doesn't have a Hulk Hogan impression?
Well, the thing is Jay Lethal's was like spot on, where his is kind of lackluster to begin with, and like
who? Axel? Of course.
No, not Axel. Macho Man.
I was curious to know I thought he's doing I was like, wait a minute, this is actually, he's doing like a really good Macho Man impersonation.
Watch Jay Lethal, man. You're showing that you don't know.
Well, I am not the person to compare. I just look at this guy doing a good impression. He got the body gesture and everything, and I go, how many people could come close to even say what Sandow? Because he surrendered himself to doing this gimmick. You can tell.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely working hard. I just don't think. I don't know. I think it works well with it when they're doing the Ascension, because the Ascension's like an old school tag team anyway, so that works perfectly. And they're kind of treated as jokes, so this could be a nice little comedy angle.
But you see what it is, though, right? And that's the whole point of this even happening. It's like, hey, I don't like you because that's Curtis Axel. I love Curtis Axel for his cheesiness and like his. It goes like, I don't like imitators, dude, and that, like you're, and then Ascension basically did the same thing. It's like, how dare you try to imitate old wrestling gimmicks? It's like, no, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like all these guys are delusional to a certain extent.
It's a comedy angle, yeah. I mean, I think it's.
But the Ascension, I love the Ascension. They didn't stop bullshitting with the Ascension.
Whatever, man.
And then you basically that match happens, and then the Ascension shows up, and then they attack Axel and Macho Dow.
Macho Man Down.
Yeah, like I feel like Tamina even doing this. It's like so fucked up, but they both beat the Ascension. They join forces, and then they shake hands. And now you got the beta powers.
What is it? Yeah, the mega. Yeah. I think they're gonna wrestle on the pre-show Ascension versus.
Yes, they are. They are. Because as soon as I saw how, I was like, oh god, we got ourselves. In my head, I go, oh, looks like we got our Payback opener, pre-show, and sure enough.
I didn't even see that. I saw we got our main event for main event, like.
A main event for WrestleMania.
And yeah, then Daniel Bryan comes out, addresses the fans. Yeah, I think he's pretty much. I don't think he wanted to say it, but I think he's pretty much done, especially if not a special occasion type of deal.
what percentage do you think this is actual work? I was on my Facebook and someone actually brought that up. And it's like, could this
he didn't say, he said that he might not ever wrestle again, but he's going to be out for a long time indefinitely. So,
and he's going to be shooting this Tough Enough.
Well, so he didn't say, he left it open for it not to be a work. He didn't lie to us if he said that he's...
I don't know.
He said indefinitely.
Wrestling.
He said indefinitely and may never. So he didn't say I'm never going to come back again and then come back.
I'm just saying, it may... I'm not saying that he fucked up. He's probably fucked up. But to drop the belt, to a certain extent, to drop the belt, and now he's going to be like on Tough Enough.
He's a judge. Hulk Hogan's.
I know. He's gonna be a judge.
Hogan as well. So it's not like.
No. I'm not saying like he's gonna be doing. I'm saying he's gonna be on, but he's working on another project. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he's moving from the ring to do something outside the ring. Now, is it because he's hurt, or is it because they really want Daniel Bryan on Tough Enough?
I think they want
enough to take him out the ring.
I think they want him in whatever capacity he can do because he's over. And I think as a judge, because he is seen as like a very good wrestler, it would be perfect to judge Tough Enough. Because I think they're doing judges, coaches, and hosts this time. So that's a lot more people than they used to have. They used to have the like kind of an all three kind of together thing. So I don't really know. I don't know. Tough Enough. I'm not really that big of a fan of Tough Enough.
Yeah, I've never watched it. I never watched a single episode. I'm not big into reality television, so I never watched a single Total Divas.
Stone Cold was kind of funny on it last time, but that was Jericho. So
yeah,
I like Jericho in the ring.
Jericho's a whore. You know that?
He'll do anything.
He's a big fucking whore.
Have you seen his Comedy Central show?
No.
He's got a Comedy Central.
I don't want to watch his because he's corny to me. I mean, he's slapstick, funny. I mean, it's just I think he's an entertaining guy. And I'm a big Jerichoholic, but he's a whore. What isn't he gonna do?
Yeah.
That motherfucker he has a webisode, but I'm Chris Jericho. He has the podcast. He has fucking game shows. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Jericho? You got a rock band?
Doing his thing.
This motherfucker has 8 different things that he does at once. It's like, what the fuck, man? I hope he's making that dollar.
But then we have a great match after Daniel Bryan. Kind of sad news there. Big E versus Cesaro. They announced that it's going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match between the tag team, between New Day and Kid and Cesaro. So that's going to definitely steal the fucking show. Because all I wanted is just that match extended out.
Those guys are so great, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that match is going to be awesome.
I don't think this was a good match, though. And it was on Big E's part. Big E he was stiffening up. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I think Cesaro outshined him.
Oh, God.
You don't think so? Big power.
I don't see it as
he
that.
He caught him and he threw him over the top. Big power slam made him look real strong. Gigantic twisting uppercut. And I think Booker T and JBL pretty much became fans. They're watching Cesaro.
But they are fans of Cesaro. Yeah, I'm just saying, Big E very rarely comes in and he's not bringing his A game as well. But there was...
I don't think very many people on the roster could keep up with Cesaro. I think he was feeling the crowd that night, and I think he just went with it. I thought he showed how he was very smart, because we always talk on the show about the distraction roll-up, and he did not, got out of the distraction roll-up to then win, where Cesaro, took the victory.
And that weird package?
Yeah, but he rolled out of the distraction roll-up, so that shows like the thing that everyone else is getting fooled by, he didn't get fooled by.
I guess the point I'm making is that it's out of the entire feud so far between the New Day and Kid and Cesaro, even within the singles matches, this is the lowest point there's been, and I hope it stays that way. Again, I'm not taking anything away from Cesaro. I think he did what he had to do. I think Big E head wasn't in it, and it came off. There was like even the part where it was like he wasn't prepared. He didn't set up that to where he was getting belly to back. It came off very like botched, and then they finally settled down. There was one where he was whipping him to the turnbuckle, and it was like he was like where am I going,
Big E is not as like you gotta think.
Big E's badass.
Cesaro is a veteran, and Big E is a good wrestler, but Big E is also very new compared to Cesaro.
I'm not giving the overall like ability of Big E. Big E's awesome. He was just off that.
I'm saying
that night.
Well, I was going to get to a further point, and I was going to say that being in the ring as just a singles match with Cesaro, a lot of people couldn't probably hang with that. A lot of people couldn't go the speed that he was going compared to Ziggler, how hard he was probably getting hit.
But he has gone toe-to-toe with Cesaro.
In tag matches, 4 or 5 seconds, wrestle here, wrestle there, tag out.
They've had singles matches that have been just fine.
But it have not been where Cesaro just whoops his ass the whole time. I bet he was pretty fucking scared as a young dude.
I think they were probably just partying a little too much in Cincinnati. As an athlete, as an ex-athlete, I know when someone's on and I know when someone's off. I'm not saying that this person's garbage. Again, I'm one of the biggest Big E fans you meet. I like this New Day. But he just had an off night. LeBron James shows up to work. He fucking scores 11 points, gets 2 rebounds and 1 assist. His mind wasn't in the game, And I think Big E, in this match, something was distracting him from giving as good of a match to keep up with Cesaro because I was really excited about this. But while I was watching it, I go, man, Big E, come on, man. Get your head into the game, dude. I mean, Cesaro's always going to be Cesaro. He has his off days, too. But I just go, fuck. You had the opportunity to keep us excited about this feud, the casual wrestling. And it just really came off very sloppy. This match, definitely.
I think, and this shows that Cesaro can just pretty much go in there and work anybody and, make it as over as the main event.
I bet he gave Big E shit in the back.
And then what
the fuck you doing out there?
They announced the Elimination Chamber returning. Do you think that maybe they're going to put they can do an IC title thing with it?
Talk about overkill.
I think if they maybe do an IC thing with it and stay clear of the world, and then use the world title for the Money in the Bank, that could save it. But I don't really have a lot of faith that they're going to do that. I'm just don't fancy booking.
Well, they're going to do. Apparently, the talks is. Well, not the talks. What it's going to be is for the IC belt and for the tag team belt. And it's going to be very interesting.
Tag team belt?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Nah, not so often. If they're going to have to increase the size of those pods.
I mean, so you're saying they could just be 3 tag teams. So they would have just one guy in the pod to begin with.
So you're saying it starts off
say pod 1 Kid, pod 2 Cesaro, pod 3 Harper, pod 4 Kofi Kingston, and then you start off with Roman and Big E.
Oh,
as a scenario, I don't know.
In terms of the logistics of doing this, I have absolutely. You know how some people know the square root of a room, the square area foot of a room. And stuff it's 10 by 6.
Yeah,
I have no. When someone says that shit to me, I'm I don't know what the fuck you just said. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't have a concept of space, diameter, and measurement. I don't have it at all. And it's just like this. It's well.
But that's cool. I think that's awesome. I think they should have done an Elimination Chamber with just a tag thing.
I have to see it happen. I don't know what it even.
There you said it, man. You have to see it happen.
Yeah, I had to see it happen. I mean, and it's but here's the thing, dude. The tag team division right now, between with the New Day with the championship, Kid and Cesaro, the Ascension. But no, I'm just kidding. But those two, I could watch those guys. I mean, they won't disappoint me. Big E had an off night. Great, granted, it happens to the best of everyone. But I don't see that being a problem because they always deliver. You see what I'm saying? I want to see the match because it's going to happen. This angle, this will be the first time that any of them will be in the chamber. So, Cesaro's been in the chamber.
Okay.
Green in the chamber. I just hope that's not.
I think Kofi's probably been there before. I want to say. I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt there.
But if he's been in the chamber, it had to have been at least around 2007 or 8. I mean, years ago. he hasn't been that big of a deal to even enter the Elimination Chamber, because Elimination Chamber was the go home pay-per-view to WrestleMania, right? They replaced it with Fastlane, right?
Yeah.
So you're putting the top guys in position that you want being the attention for WrestleMania, especially for the belt, right? Or whether it's the WWE belt or the World Title belt. And Kofi hasn't been neither. R-Truth's been more relevant than Kofi Kingston.
I don't know. But I mean, I have faith in them. I think they can do a good job.
I hope so, man.
I think having the Elimination Chamber there makes it easier to have a good match, because there's like, oh, well, we just jump off of that for a big spot. I'll just throw you into that for a big spot.
But those guys you could put those guys in a cardboard box and they'll probably give a good show. I just go, well, when you're in when you're in that environment, which is either steel cage or Elimination Chamber cage or like a Hell in a Cell, the psychology of a match changes, and it's how will these guys adapt, psychologically in the ring to it. And if you haven't been there before, it's going to take a while to get used to. I imagine this thing is going to start off real slow, and then as it goes into it, you'll probably get maybe two guys that are really giving a good show, and then the rest are just like kind of flailing. I hope that's not the case. It's like being in the playoffs.
We have like a string of bad promos. I say primetime players promo.
Skip.
Yeah, then the new Bray Wyatt promo.
Skip.
Ryback came out after Bray Wyatt. Skip. And
so what?
I'm just saying, and then just main event time. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. They make a big deal that J&J is not there at the beginning.
Boring match.
Yeah, I thought Rollins was pretty good, and I thought he hit the flying knee at the beginning, and then the suicide dive. But yeah, I just think the crowd was kind of dead because you got the bad
match was boring.
You got the bad news from Bryan, and then you got several bad promos leading into the actual main event. So I think I could see how you'd be kind of dead. I don't know. The match seemed all right.
Horrible. There's no magic. It's like just two guys in the ring, and it's like it took the actual match to stop for it to actually get exciting.
Yeah, J&J come out and attack Orton. Then Dean Ambrose and Reigns come out to save him. And then you kind of get to the point where you see Rollins just standing there. They all hit their finisher on him, and then they kind of trade finishers, and then eventually Dean hits the Dirty Deeds to Reigns, and then there he is standing tall for the second week in a row.
But who's the star in this? In this entire debacle? Who was the star?
You could say Dean Ambrose, but not really, because he's got to be playing catch-up anyways. Roman Reigns has been, he got pushed too soon, and now they're trying to go backwards with him, which is always a weird spot to be in. And Orton. You could, if you put Orton there, I could see him getting cheered, or you have Rollins like sneaking out some way. I could see him being the star. But yeah, they kind of just.
And I'm talking about in that segment right there.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you just kind of drowned.
It was Kane. Kane was the center of attention.
Why do you say that?
Because he is the vocal point of the actual match itself. I'm still waiting for them to calling him to be the special guest referee. That was like my bold prediction that was going to happen with this four-way.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of the fucking show, Triple H tells him, hey man, if Rollins doesn't win, you're fired as DOO. Right? He shows up with a chair, and he just lets Rollins get his ass handed to him. He just sits there with a chair in his hand. Right? He does nothing, and he's staring at the ring. And the camera shot him more than they shot the people in the actual ring. And it's like, why? I'm not mad at Kane. Again, if you go back, people, if you listen, you go back, I enjoy what they've done with Kane, but I don't agree with the positioning of being the top guy of this entire feud. He's the top guy in this feud. It's Everything's running through Kane. Everything's surrounded by Kane. Everything's about Kane making decisions. Everything's about Kane and whether he interferes or not.
I mean, at least he wrestles unlike Triple H. So, like, with him making decisions, you actually tease a bit of tension and matches. Whereas if Triple H is the guy making all the decisions, he's not even going to wrestle to Mania, and you kind of know that, so it's kind of pointless. So as pointless as it is having Kane there, and as dull as it is having Kane there, at least it's not Triple H. And that's how I see. Every time I see Kane, I'm just like,
you're a Triple H guy. What are you talking about?
Nah, man, he's slow at doing his promos. And then you also have the tease that Kane can go that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing.
But he hasn't gone there yet. He's still in fucking slacks.
I know, but that's the build, you know.
It's fucking Kane in slacks, and he is the centerpiece to your main event. It makes absolutely no sense.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty bad writing, but this is how it happens this time of year.
I'm not accepting that. That's crap. I refuse to accept that. I refuse. I go, okay, I understand his purpose, but like, have him basically the figure piece. It's not even about the goddamn belt anymore. It's not even about the belt. It's about Kane and what he's gonna do, and again, build his fucking feud to Triple H. Someone please put that belt back on Brock Lesnar. Please. Because it's like, at least we know that the belt...
So you're telling me when Lesnar comes back, you're going to be really excited, right?
No, I'm not going to be excited. Fuck him. I'm going to be happy that he's returned, but he's just going to leave a fucking again. I'm just saying, man, out of the entire roster, and all the guys and all the writers, you mean to tell me that Kane is the picked choice to be the center of that main event storyline?
I don't think so. I think we talked about earlier, like, they can't really do Cena because that just seems off nowadays. They've done that so much. But they are waiting around for Lesnar to come back. So they're all just kind of having to stall without having their comfortable go-to in Cena. So this is the first year we're like, who's it going to be? We know the Shield's popular. I guess Randy Orton's still a main eventer. Kane, let's have Kane out there. You know, Triple H is somehow weirdly tied into it. But, I mean, it's just convoluted and weird. But I think
you got a chicken shit heel. You got a chicken shit heel in Rollins. A chicken shit heel in Rollins.
Yeah.
You got a guy in Ambrose that they just refuse to let go. They let him just run loose. I mean, he's a side hoe. He's a side hoe. You got Reigns, who's just he's just a pile of shit, right? And then you got Randy Orton, that everyone thinks that it's like this thing with him. I get he has fire under his fucking ass, and I think that's pretty cool. But he's fucking Randy Orton, right? This isn't even about the belt. They're trying to make it seem that this is going to be like this full way for the belt. This is about the belt. This is not about the belt. This is about Kane. It's so weird. You know? They should take all four of those guys and just make them like hate each other and fucking do any and everything at all costs to make sure that they themselves become world champion. They should take any authoritative figure out. Just take them away. Like, you take out Triple H, you take out Kane, you take out Stephanie McMahon, you take out all of that shit. You take away it all. Strip it bare. 4 dudes who want the belt. Don't make this about, oh, how are you going to react, Kane, to this?
Well, that's what I was alluding to with saying that, like, there's no tease of matches, so these authoritative figures is bad.
It's depressing. I refuse to accept it. I mean, like, again, listeners, last week I was pretty happy about the show, right? The week before, I was pretty upset. Stream Rules was pretty fucking horrible. I don't plan to always be this way. I like to see the glass half full. And that's the potential of this, me seeing it half empty. That's all it is, folks. They better clean this shit up real fast, or I don't see myself. I'm gonna turn heel. I think I'm gonna just turn heel. I think you're gonna see heel fucking Peter.
Well, you can't jump back and forth, then it'll just be like.
I'm not jumping. Well, I mean,
It'll be like a
if Alicia
Velcro.
Fox can, then I can. Fuck it. I'm like Alicia Fox in this shit. And let's go ahead and wrap this shit up and get into the
Predictions.
into the predictions. Okay, so thank you for listening to Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, the Raw section of this. Again, I thought this show, I guess, was a 6. I mean, to be a go-home show, it's pretty lackluster. And then it's like you got they're gonna bunch 3 pay-per-views within 30 days, and this is nothing to be excited about moving forward. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram under Ellen Japanese, LINJAPANESE, and also on what the hell is it called? It's called Snapchat. You can follow the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling Twitter account. That's PJTW Central. You can stop by PJTWCentral.com and it take you to all the avenues that Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling and other programs that we have, like Fast in the World Podcast, Peter Talks SmackDown, Peter Talks Wrestling With, which is going to be New Day Podcast. We won't be having it this Friday though. Peter reactions with the pay-per-view. What? How do we get in touch with you?
JG Pro Wrestling at JG Pro Wrestling on Twitter. Yeah, hit me up. It's going real well. Talking to a lot of you guys out there, meeting a lot of you guys. Pretty fucking cool. And also, every week we have Fast in the World podcast where me and my uncle, the Amazing Fritz, review NXT real quick podcast. It should be. I mean, we had a big 30-minute one last week, but they normally stay within less than 20.
Because there was an interview involved as well.
This is true. Yeah, we had Zicky Dice. He's training under Black and Brave, which is Seth Rollins' wrestling school, and he's also a Tough Enough hopeful and frontman of punk band Heart to Heart. So that's a pretty big deal.
And other interviews prior, you got one with John Hitchcock, and then you have the first Nick Zappo, and then you also have the Legal Man, Outside Interference.
Oh yeah, Mark Charles.
So yeah, we definitely have additional content if you are interested in listening to them. So
Mark
stop
Charles,
by.
is going to be a guest on Fast in the World coming up as well.
Okay, so PJTWCentral.com. Click on any links and you will find whether it's SoundCloud, Stitcher, Tumblr, or YouTube. All that content will be within this respective playlist within the archives. So without further ado, we're going to get the fuck out of here, and we'll see you in a bit for the
prediction show for Payback.
Yeah, I predict it's going to suck.
Later.
Peace.
You have been listening to Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling Podcast. Please tune in next week.
Come on, y'all, get live, get down. Like, come on, y'all, get live, get down. I said, come on, y'all.